What's up, people? Welcome to Riding on Ruby. Well, I got Ruby out of the shed, got her parked as you could see, tried to fire her up, and all I heard was a clicking noise. And it seemed like the day I got her back from the dealer that it was an issue similar to that. It took a couple times to get her to fire up. So I don't know if they left the key in the on position or something when it was up there, maybe. I don't know. Don't want to be blaming anybody, but this battery was good. And then even yesterday, if you see that little 20-second short video I did, she fired up, took a couple cranks, but did seem like the battery could have been low. So anyways, I went in the house and I got the battery tender, which is just a trickle charger, and hooked it up with an extension cord. And right now it's still yellow, so that is telling me that the battery's not fully charged unless it turns green. Boy, that's a loud car. I don't know why people want a car that sounds like a moped, but anyways. So it's been about 10 minutes, but I was going to go down and do my voting today and take Ruby for a ride. It's about 50 degrees. It's sunny, light wind. I bundled up, and I was all rearing to go. So now I'm hoping I don't got to wait no more than an hour, at least to maybe get her to fire up enough. And then once I could get her to fire up, then just leave her running for a while. And that should charge the battery enough to go down there and vote and maybe go for a ride or something and then come back. And then maybe I'll just hook her up to the battery tender because it won't reach the shed. But Ruby's going to be going into the house this coming Saturday. Today's Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021. So anyways, I guess I might as well just take this opportunity to tell you the story about Ruby. So if you watched the video about out of service, that there was something leaking to me, I thought it was some kind of coolant. So the dealer came and picked Ruby up on Friday. This was 3 Fridays ago. And they picked her up in between my bus runs, which was good. And they did it for free. They got her up there. Saturday, they call me and they say the bike's all set. And I'm like, all right, they did the 1,000-mile service package. And the reason why I had that done at just over 600 miles was because they had a promo going that it was going to be $200 off. And it's usually like $475. So I'm like, all right, it's there, might as well do it, Yeah, I'll save $200. So I says, well, then what was leaking, And they said, oh, we couldn't find nothing leaking. The tech got it up to temperature. He took it for a ride, and we never saw nothing leaking. And I'm like, well, look, it didn't leak every time I did it. It was like maybe when the thermostat or something switches or whatever, and maybe there's movement or something like that, and the hoses. I said, well, look, do me a favor. Take it out for another test ride. And the guy wasn't really happy about that, but he ended up saying, oh, all right, we'll do it. But this was Saturday. He says, I can't do it until next Wednesday because I got to reschedule it back in there. I'm like, you got it. You might as well do it. All right, so the following Wednesday comes, calls me up. Bike's all set. And we still didn't find any leaks. So I'm just crossing my fingers that for some reason it was the reservoir overflow, because I'm sure that's got an overflow line somewhere that's got to overflow, and I'm hoping that maybe it was that, but I have no idea. So they says, all right, they're going to deliver it on Saturday, which is good because I could just sit here all day and wait for it. No, don't have to make plans. So they came really early too. It was like 10 o'clock Saturday morning. It was awesome. I jumped on her. I took her, like I said, I tried to fire her up, and I didn't start at first, and then I realized, oh, well, it was in gear, and, so I pulled the clutch in and put it in neutral, and then she fired up, but even something just didn't seem right at that time, so maybe they wore the battery down, or what, I don't know, but anyways, I went for about a 10-minute ride, got her home because it was going to rain that day, and let her cool down. And then, as you can see, I put the Fire brand loose cannon muffler back on so it sounds loud and proud again. So in the meantime, because Ruby's a very limited rare color, the salesman has sold it to me, saw it up there, and he starts texting me. And he's like, hey, Paul, we got this promo, this NADA program promo going on. And normally, if you traded in that bike, you'd get about $4,500. But because of this NADA, he says, I could give you $7,000 for a trade-in. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, last year, I paid $7,509 something, of course, out the door it was just under $9,000 with all the other crap they add onto it, But, and I'm thinking, well, I love Ruby. I love the 500. I mean, it's got power. It sounds good. It looks good. Why get rid of it? It's paid for in full. Insurance is cheap. But if it's going to be leaking and everything, then, and they're saying there's nothing wrong with it, then I'm thinking, well, you know what am I going to do? Have a bike that's leaking? I can't figure it out unless something major happens, then we'll know. But I really don't want to be in that situation that something like that would happen. So I kind of played along with it, and I says, well, what do you got up there? And he's like, well, I got a 1200 iron up here. And of course that would probably be like, I don't know, I think they're going for like 10.9 or something, 11 or something. So I'm sure out the door you would have been probably about 13,000. And I really don't want to do another loan. I mean, I do have cash that I could have threw down and made it a little bit better, but still. So I told him, I said, well, you know what, I want to wait for that new Sporty coming out in 2022, the 975 with the Red Max motor, because that 975 would probably have just as much power, if not more, than a 1200 iron. And a lot of people have the 1200 irons. I think the 21s only came in 3 color schemes. So, you know what, I want to be like, the only kid on the block that has the new 975 or something with a different, type of paint scheme and all that. And the salesman did confirm that, yeah, that's coming out in 22. So there is a 975 coming out. They're not going to be making the 1200 irons anymore. So I'm thinking, we'll see what happens. I don't know when they're actually going to be released or not. But he said he'll call me around January or February, and we'll talk again then. So I figured, well, that's not going to give me much time to see if Ruby's leaking. I mean, she's not leaking, I'll probably just keep her, because I love that bike. It's all that I really need. But if she does leak or something, then a couple times that I might be able to ride her, then I just don't trust her then. If they can't figure out what's wrong with it, then you know what, maybe I should. Maybe it's like a sign or something, I don't know. So anyways, that's about where it stands. I ended up paying $189 for the service package instead of $475. They charged me $100 to deliver her back here in a trailer, and it was $129 they charged me for labor or tech fees or whatever to find the leak, which I'm not really happy about, because I assumed, and I'm probably wrong, but I just assumed that if it's under warranty, that whatever they do you shouldn't have to pay for, including the tech fee, bill that to the company. Now maybe if they did find something wrong and had to replace a hose or something, then maybe it would have been free. But either way, it was $476 out the door with all that, which is still about $200 cheaper than if I paid the normal price for the service package. So I guess right now I'm going to be sitting here waiting for the battery to at least get maybe like an hour charge on it and see if she'll at least turn over. And then, like I said, once she's running, and then it should charge her up for enough to start her back up at the polls to vote. and then get home, and then I'll just I ended up buying a Harley Davidson leather jacket, but I didn't pay $500 from Harley Davidson. I ended up getting it through Amazon. It's really nice, really thick leather. It was like $130 delivered to my door, and they run true to size. I have on a thermal shirt, I have on a bulky fleece, sweatshirt, and a fleece vest over it, and it's still pretty comfortable. A little snug, but I don't plan on riding when it's bitter cold, so otherwise I would have got a large to make up for all the extra gear. So I'll put a picture of that in so you could see from like Amazon, see what it looks like. So if you want to get a Harley Davidson coat, alright, I'm going to end it here and wait it out, and hopefully we could get out there and get riding. So I'll talk to you people soon. Alright, well, I'm back. I got Ruby running, but now as you can see, there's a check engine light on. Boy, let me tell you, she goes up to the dealer for a service and she comes back and there's a check engine light on. She doesn't want to start. But I'm just hoping maybe that's because maybe the battery's low or something, but the battery tender turned green and she fired right up. So I'm just gonna see what happens and keep my fingers crossed. So let's go down to the voting place. But one thing I'm not going to do, and that's for sure, is I'm not bringing her back to the dealer. I'll let her sit over the winter. Hopefully she's gonna be alright. And hopefully she'll restart again. I have to call my insurance company because I have roadside assistance. I can't remember. I'll have to look at that video. I don't think that check engine light was on when she was running when I did that little short. So we'll have to see. I'll check that again, but I'm pretty sure, so I don't know if it has something to do with the battery or what. But if I'm continuing to have all these issues, then we'll have to see what's going to happen and when the new ones come out. I forgot to zipper up my coat, duh. gas. Oh, it's expensive. Man, these roads are shit. So here's fifth gear, 45. 3,300 RPMs. Man, you gotta go around all these grooves. It's crazy. Well, this jacket probably would be good if I zippered it up. It's halfway. It's about a quarter of a ways off. Hopefully I get this red light. No. I'm not doing a lot of talking because I'm dumbfounded about this situation here. Alright, I'm gonna shut you down. Get the helmet out, off, whatever. And go do my civic duty. So I'll get back to you people. Alright people, I'm back. Alright, let's see what's gonna happen. Try to get out of here. Luckily I found this little space over here. Well, I was gonna go for a bigger ride, but right now I don't trust it. I don't know why this light would be on. My sister's, my daughter's boyfriend, Scott. Well, I mean, she seems to be running okay. So, I don't know what's going on with that. According to the battery tender, the battery was charged fully because it turned green. So, we'll see. See, hippie Trev, see how these roads are all chewed up? So I don't know if that light's gonna be on. I mean, I'll go out later and I'll fire her up and let her run a little bit again, try to charge that battery up. But I also hear, usually when you hit the start button, not the starter but the one that turns on to everything, then you know, you hear that little zzz. Well, this time it kind of sounds weird, like if it was like rubbing or something. So I don't know if it has something to do with that or not, but I'm not really happy. Bring it to the dealer and it comes back in worse shape than it was when it went. But maybe it'll go off and it won't come back on. I don't know, we'll see. I don't think, it's not like your car where you could plug in a code reader. But I know my turn signals are working and stuff, so
coat's doing good though. You want to buy a Harley coat from Amazon, $130 delivered. Only complaint is that it's thick and it's stiff, and it's going to take a while to soften up a little. Here's 6th gear, 50 miles an hour, 3,300 RPMs. I want to at least go for a little bit of a ride to get that battery charging. See how things go. I mean, just putting around my house in my area ain't too bad, but when the check engine light comes on, it could be something stupid, or it could be something major going to happen. So it's like, do I want to take that chance? I've seen a couple people in the voting place there in the polls because they saw me with all the Harley coat and the helmet and all that. So I said, oh, I got a YouTube channel, Riding on Ruby, so I gave them one of my business cards. So they said, don't forget to subscribe, because that's a big deal. So we'll see what happens with that. But I don't know, this video might be getting long. I hate editing out stuff. So I'm going to probably end it. I have no idea where I'm going. Just want to get that battery charged up. Alright people, we're going to end it here at the stop sign, so I hope you all out there having a good day. I envy you people that get to ride in the south and everything. So, well, can't do it now. First time I missed second. Alright people, we're going to end it again.
So, you know, as usual, hit the like, subscribe, the ding-a-ling bell. I'll be doing a video when we put her in the house. I'll have my daughter be like the cameraman. So you can see all that interesting stuff. And just gonna finish off this ride and get Ruby back in the shed and try to figure out what's going on. Alright, so as usual, people, be safe out there. Peace out.